mouse.
The mouse is here. The mouse is here. Last week we talked about a terrible musician. So this week we're gonna talk about good musicians. To say I love Blackpink is an understatement. And obviously I'll tell you why in this video. But let's get some context first. For a start, I'm not a K-pop fan. I've never been a K-pop fan. I'm just an ordinary guy that likes music. I'm not that guy that spams videos of Jennie Kim dancing everywhere. So don't just write me off as some weird neckbeard and click off this video. Hear me out first. I'm a musician. I mainly play guitar, mandolin, and tenor banjo. And to make money I play through a multitude of genres. For example, Irish traditional music, pop music, rock music, jazz music, country music. Ugh. At the minute, my preference in music is guitar stuff. From John Mayer to Tommy Emmanuel. From Eric Clapton to Achika Nito. I've listened to a very diverse range of music over the years, but never K-pop. That's until I became a Blackpink addict. It all started one day. I was scrolling through a music group on Facebook. I saw a video of some girl dancing looking very miserable, and I thought to myself, what is this all about? Who is this woman?
잠깐만요.
Would you go grab it
Yeah,
for
갔다.
me?
I checked the comments, and I saw a huge amount of fangirls saying, yes queen, slay, but no mention of who this queen actually was. I was dumbfounded. Who are these girls? Said the mouse. Being the inquisitive mouse I am, I tried my best to find this group. I didn't know what country they were from. I didn't know the names of the songs they were singing. It was a lost cause. I didn't even know that K-pop existed. So I had to give up. And that's the end of my story. Until one night, I was hanging out with my friend Jeff. He looks and stares at me and says,
My name is Jeff.
Hey Mouse, have you ever heard of Jennie Kim? People simp for her in these crypto group chats all the time. I just thought you'd like to see her.
well, why would I like to see her, Jeff? That makes no sense, Jeff. You're just trying to find an excuse to
Watch
show me
this.
her, Jeff. Stop it,
Right
Jeff.
now.
Shut up, Jeff. He silenced me by showing me a song called Kill This Love. Within the first 10 seconds, I was glued to it and completely blown away. I couldn't even follow what was going on or comprehend anything at all. I felt like I was no longer on Earth at this point, but instead I was in some Blackpink dimension with cotton candy clouds and giant bear trap raves? My mouse brain was exploding, deciding whether I should listen to the music or stare at the intense visuals of the video. This was a crazy inner turmoil I genuinely never experienced before. Usually my brain can just shut the visuals of a music video down and just listen to the music, but this was not your usual song. Oh no! My eyes feasted on dazzling lights, beautiful girls constantly shape-shifting into different outfits, and astonishing, otherworldly environments. The scenes would change constantly, making it feel like you were tripping out on acid. I mean, I myself don't do drugs personally, so I don't know what that would feel like, but I feel like Blackpink music videos would and maybe could make you feel that way, maybe, I don't know, I guess. So anyway, I was mesmerized. I was trying to figure out and learn the faces of the girls singing their specific parts, but they kept changing hair color, which really fucking confused me. I didn't know if there were 4 members of a group or 12, but one thing I did know is that I needed to learn more about these mysterious girls. I was awestruck. Now, I've never been like this in my life, with anything, other than that time I saw a dead pine marten on the side of the road when I was on a walk with my friends, but that's not a story for today. It makes sense that the awestruck mouse would then go on to listen to every Blackpink song. It also makes sense that the awestruck mouse would watch all the Blackpink documentaries and vlogs. It finally makes sense that the awestruck mouse developed a crippling Blackpink addiction, which still festers in my being to this day. The sad thing is that I'm literally listening to Playing with Fire while I'm reading this out. So, this is the part of the video where I play a little intro thing and say, a mouse guide to Blackpink, or something like that. For a start, do you know that Blackpink are the most popular band on the planet right now? For the past year, they've been dipping in and out of the #1 spot in Bloomberg's Pop Star Power rankings. All the other acts on this ranking, apart from BTS, are soloists. Bloomberg's rankings are based on 6 criteria that I found interesting. Ticket sales, concert grosses, album sales, digital song sales, Instagram interactions, which is basically the COVID era equivalent of fan interactions, and YouTube views. By the way, their YouTube views are crazy. The day that I'm making this video is at the end of September 2021. In the past month, they've got over 850 million views on YouTube. In total, their YouTube channel has just under 20 billion views. So yeah, I guess you could say they're kinda famous. But why are they so popular? What makes Blackpink stand out among all the other K-pop groups that virgin haters describe as plastic and factory made? Well, this is a pretty deep discussion. I'm gonna try my best to explain all the most important reasons why the band is as famous as they are. I'm also gonna do some musical analysis later on, for all you guys out there that are interested in what creates Blackpink's distinct style. So, grab some popcorn, and let's get started. Here's some common sense for you guys. The members of a music group are like 80% of what determines their success. So how about we talk about the group members first? Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you some irrelevant stuff, like whether Lisa likes carrots or not. Ah, she actually does. Anyway, I'm just gonna talk about important stuff. So, number 1, Blackpink is a multinational group. What this means is that the 4 girls that make up Blackpink are from multiple different countries. Let's look at each girl's origin story, from the oldest to the youngest. Starting with Jisoo. Jisoo is from Korea. She's a city girl. Being born and raised there, she has a 100% understanding of Korean culture. She was born into a rich family. Because she's never lived in an English-speaking country, she's the weakest English speaker of the group.
You don't seem that scared, you seem pretty cool.
I'm not scary.
As stated before, she's the oldest member of the group, and this is what is known as being the Unnie of the group. 2 of the girls in Blackpink never lived in Korea. They had no understanding of Korean culture whenever they moved over. Since Jisoo was the oldest girl, and somebody that understood everything about Korea, she took them under her wing, and she helped them learn how to speak and write Korean properly. She taught them the ins and outs of Korean culture too. The girls to this day look up to Jisoo like a big sister. Now, Jennie's turn. The Jennie mouse. Jennie is the second oldest member. She was also born in Korea, into a rich family, but she moved to New Zealand when she was about 10 years old, and she studied there for 5 years. She moved back to Korea, then auditioned to YG Entertainment right after, and became a trainee. The importance of this is that Jennie speaks fluent English, so she can sing in English with ease. She can do interviews with American TV show hosts, and this opens up the Anglosphere as a market to sell her music to and tour. Then, on the flip side, as she grew up in Korea, she's fluent in Korean and she completely understands Korean culture. When Lisa first started at YG, she was in a really bad state mentally. She knew no Korean at all. The only person that spoke fluent English besides her was Jennie. This allowed their friendship to form, which of course improved Lisa's mental health. You can imagine, if Lisa had nobody to talk with, she'd likely have lost her motivation, and therefore she wouldn't have become the absolutely masterful performer she is today. Without Jennie, we'd probably not have Lisa. Do you see how this stuff is relevant, guys? The second youngest member is none other than Rosé. Her Korean name is Chae-young. Rosé was born in New Zealand, but she grew up in Australia. Her parents are well off, but they didn't really have fuck you money like Jisoo's did. She was kind of upper middle class. Rosé is the best at speaking English in the group since she's the only native speaker. Her solo songs are in English, which allows her to tap into that massive English speaking market. Another thing is, as a solo artist, she's got a great chance of making it in the West, because people can actually understand what she's singing about. When Rosé went to Korea, she could speak Korean, but she didn't really have a proper grip on Korean culture. This meant that she struggled often in social scenarios since she didn't understand the rules. She bonded over this lack of understanding with the other girl who struggled with those rules. What was her name again? Oh yeah! The youngest member of the group. In Korea, this is known as being the maknae. The Lisa. Lisa was born in Thailand and raised by her Thai mother and Swiss dad. Her Thai name is Pranpia Manoban. She could speak English and Thai from an early age, but not Korean. Her English is strong and it allows her to do a lot of promotional stuff in English, which helps the group. The most important thing for me is that she's Thai. As she's Thai, she has the hearts of all Thai people. Believe me, when I went to Thailand, there are photos of Lisa everywhere. On the metro, on the billboards, even on the KFC shop windows. Lisa has completely grabbed the Thai market, and that undoubtedly helps the group. See how this stuff is relevant, guys? Another thing I should mention, which is kinda important is that Blackpink's members in total can speak Korean, English, Japanese, Thai, and Mandarin. Wow. 5 languages. Blackpink are the biggest female K-pop group of all time so far. I'd attribute them being able to speak 5 different languages as a major reason why. Would the average girl in Manchester be more likely to listen to Rosé's song if it was in Korean or if it was in English? Exactly. The Anglosphere is huge. Roughly 1.35 billion people in the world speak English. This is a much larger market than Korean speakers, which is about 75 million people strong. And 24 million of them are in North Korea. Let's not talk about that. Then, you have 1.31 billion Chinese speakers in the world. Japanese language speakers are chilling with 120 million people. In total, Blackpink can communicate with 3.53 billion people in the world at minimum. That's almost half of the world. Jennie is learning French at the minute, so imagine she could get a French song out there too. The sky's the limit for these girls. So yeah, you want to tap into the biggest market possible. Having members of your group from different parts of the world, countries with alien cultures to each other, and incorporating it into your act, from the group's fashion to its lyrics, will improve your chances at achieving this. Enough said. Anyway, another strength. YG Entertainment. Look, I know this company has done a lot of sleazy things, just spending money on snorting cocaine and fucking hookers and underpaying artists and abusing their artists and so forth. But there is no denying the power of the entertainment churning machine that is YG Entertainment. Why does Blackpink exist? Oh yeah, because YG willed it so. Where did Blackpink get their unique look? Oh, from the minds of YG. Why does Blackpink have such amazing music videos? Most music videos of theirs have approximate budgets of millions of dollars. Oh yeah, YG has deep pockets and a fat wallet. Say what you want about the bad things of the company, but there is no disputing that this band would be nothing without the entertainment kingpin, which is YG. I mean, they'd literally not exist without him. Another thing that people talk about is, who is the best member of Blackpink? And at the end of the day, it genuinely comes down to personal preference. A lot of Blackpink fans have what they call their bias. Basically, it's what they call their favorite member. Since I'm doing a video on them, who is my favorite member? Well, I actually have 2 favorite members. I can't really choose between them, and they're the 2 younger members, Rosé and Lisa. Rosé is the main singer of the group, and Lisa is the main dancer. She raps a lot too. What makes me prefer these 2 over the others? Well, it's quite complicated. One reason is that they were completely 100% born to do this. Ever since Rosé was a child, she was infatuated with music. There are old videos of her as a child playing the piano and singing songs. As Rosé grew up, her love for music grew organically alongside her. And she had a dream to become a famous singer who can serenade the entire world and take their hearts with her beautiful voice. She's not an ordinary person in terms of her mindset. Rosé was on the Sigma grind set. Arguably, Rosé is a yogurt female. She'd sit up at night in Australia singing all night long and honing her craft. This is something that I think a lot of serious musicians can relate to. In many circumstances, you're sacrificing your sleep for practice, and it means absolutely nothing because you're doing what you love. When you listen to Rosé's interviews, you can tell that she's the type of person that simply can't live without music, and I resonate with that completely. A byproduct of being so driven is that her hard work obviously reaped great results. Rosé genuinely has one of the best voices for pop I've ever heard. Her breathy tone is super unique, and her range is brilliant. It's shown off really well in her cover of Irreplaceable.
You must not know about me. You must not know about me. I can never know thee by tomorrow. So don't you ever for a second get to thinking you're irreplaceable.
Just impeccable singing. Wait, I thought that none of these modern K-pop singers had any talent. I mean, that's what a fat neckbeard loser that lives in his mother's basement and weighs over 400 pounds told me. Is he not right? Are you trying to say that his opinion is meaningless? Oh yeah, it is! Rosé covers a load of different songs. I recommend you go check them out. She's got a great singing voice, great vocal ornamentation, and an organic love for music which I can really relate to. That's why she's one of my favorites. Now Lisa. Lisa is the exact same vibe to me. As a child, she'd enter a load of talent shows. There are videos of it online. I think this was important to her. If you grow up performing in front of crowds, then by the time you're an age to be a pro, nerves won't impede your performance. She grew up with a similar dream to Rosé, and she had laser focus towards chasing that dream. Lisa chasing a dream. The master. Did you ever want to do something in life, but you backed out because of some stupid reason? For example, your mum told you not to do it? Well, imagine you wanted to do something, but you had to go to a faraway country where you had absolutely zero knowledge on the language. You had to leave your parents, your friends, and everything that mattered to you behind. Imagine all of this sacrifice was built on a gamble where there was a chance you'd never even debut and nothing would even come from it. Would you do it? Would you spend every day of your life for years chasing your dream if there was a chance that nothing would even come out of it? 99.9999% of people would say no when they're faced with these ridiculous circumstances. And then 99.999% of the people that said yes would definitely quit once they realized the absolute hell on earth that they had to live in order to chase this goal. Lisa said yes, and Lisa did it with all of the odds against her. She's just built different. She did not take the easy path in life at all. Lisa knew zero Korean. YG forced her to communicate with the teachers in only Korean. No English was allowed. Imagine being in that scenario. She became friends with the only other English speaker, which was Jennie. Jennie helped her with Korean and her fluency grew. Then, Rosé became a trainee, and Lisa and her clicked right away. They were the only two girls that never lived in Korea. They both struggled with the large culture barrier, and they grew their skill sets together. Now as I'm saying this, Lisa can speak Thai, English, and Korean fluently. She can also speak Japanese and Chinese. As for her talents, Lisa is a super talented dancer. In the group's infancy, they'd have to arrange their own songs, and Lisa would come up with a choreography for it. Lisa can generally just watch a dance and instantly pick it up. This is really entertaining to watch. Let's look at it. The girl is undoubtedly a phenom, without question. I personally feel that both of the younger girls made the biggest sacrifices out of the group to get to where they are today. Both of them had chased their dream their entire life since they were younger, and the other two didn't. The other two just decided, oh, fuck it, I'll just go to YG. So is it any coincidence that the two younger girls are the more talented members of the group? No. It's due to their learning approach, amazing work ethic, and being born with a gift. They were born to do this. In terms of performing, both girls are stoic professionals. In my opinion, they both have stronger stage presences and they make less mistakes on stage than the older girls. I mean, this is the entertainment industry. Performance skills matter. In this industry, the two important skills are singing and dancing. Rosé is the master singer, Lisa is the master dancer. Enough said. The purpose of girl bands is to make money. That's why YG sets K-pop bands up. It's a business. To make money. Generally, girl bands need to be fearless, charismatic performers. They need to have brilliant stamina, both physically and more importantly, mentally. They need to be consistent, make their presence on a stage known, and entertain the fans as much as they possibly can. Rosé and Lisa embody that spirit in my opinion, more so than the other two girls do. I mean, Jennie is good too, don't get me wrong, but she has moments of being clearly tired, pissed off, such as the video I first saw her of. Even though it was just a practice, it still shows you what she's made of when you compare her with the other girls. Jennie allows her emotions to control her more often than the other members. She also makes mistakes when performing. I'm not hating on Jennie, I'm a Jennie fan too, but I'm just trying to be objective when I'm comparing the members, because it's a multifaceted comparison at the end of the day. But, in reality, it really is opinion based. Literally just pick whatever member you want to be your favourite. There's not really a right or wrong answer, as long as you like that member and resonate with them more. It's just, as a musician, what I look for in a girl band member is talent, swagger, and an unbreakable inner drive to succeed at whatever you do. If you relate more to Jennie or Jisoo personality-wise, then that's perfectly fine. I don't believe that people should shit on each other for something as silly as who your favourite girl band member is. Come on. I hope that so far, I've gave you some good information. Basically, the way that my weird brain thinks about this sort of thing is it's kind of like I'm looking for a recipe to Blackpink's success. So to recap, they're brilliant performers. They're absolute fitsos, and they're likable, so as a result, crowds go mad for them. They talk and sing in a plethora of languages, which allows them to really get their brand into big markets. the English-speaking market in particular. They have the best music videos I've ever seen, personally. They're directed by a company which knows exactly what the fuck they are doing when it comes to the music industry. Every piece of content they bring out is complete perfection. Mediocrity just doesn't cut it for Blackpink. Generally speaking, people that aren't genuine knowledgeable musicians won't properly pick up just how well-oiled a machine they are. Anybody who works in the industry has massive respect for them, and rightfully so. The only people I've ever saw actively hating the band are people that simply don't understand what they're talking about. So it's not like it matters. Criticism means nothing when it's coming from a moron at the end of the day. Anyway, another reason for success is the for the fans content that they just pump out. For example, for reality show, Blackpink House. Blackpink House was great. I genuinely watched every episode, which totals to around 12 hours long. 12 hours of my life watching Rosé shaking while eating food, Jennie cooking food, Jisoo just lying in a bed doing nothing, and Lisa... Yeah, 12 hours well spent. They also have Blackpink the movie, Blackpink Light Up the Sky, mini films of Blackpink going on holiday, all sorts of stuff. They go on trivia shows such as Knowing Bros. All are great watches. I may or may not have watched Blackpink on Knowing Bros 5 times already. Yeah, so, these reality shows allow fans to see the members just be themselves and go around their everyday lives. It reminds fans that they're not just pop stars. They don't just switch off after a concert. They're people too. And they're very unique people. This results in fans becoming more attached to Blackpink. And so, they're more likely to splash for cash, buying concert tickets, albums, posters, merchandise such as clothes. Another masterful idea from Big YG. Alright, I think that we've went into enough of that stuff. I've not got all day. I've got to do me homework before me mum smacks me head. So, let's cut to the chase. And for the first time in the short YouTube career of the mouse, it's actually time to talk about music. Let's get rolling. To be honest, guys, I just started university. I don't have time to edit the analysis part of my video and get it out for Friday, so we're just gonna have to cut it out. However, if you want me to analyze Blackpink's music, I can do that. I literally have it scripted to every last bar, what happens in their songs, and what makes up their distinct sound. But I guess we'll have to do that in another video. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see it. And if I get enough good feedback, then sure, I'll do a Blackpink music analysis video. What I can say is that Blackpink's music is like the highest level of pop. Production quality is just like their music videos. 10 out of 10 quality. Teddy Park is easily the best producer Korea's ever had. When you combine him with the resources of YG, and you put him in there in a room with Jennie and Rosé, you're gonna have magic. Of course, if you want a successful band, you're gonna want pretty good music. I don't think I even need to tell you guys this. It's common sense at the end of the day. However, I am kinda disappointed that I can't get an actual analysis out there in time. But bear with me, we'll get it out in the future. Just drop a couple comments below. And subscribe to me. I mean, you've made it this far. Anyway guys, regardless of analysis or not, I hope that you found this video entertaining and maybe you learned something new from it. My name's The Mouse. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, baby. I know you just want to subscribe. Subscribe.